Ostrich, the flightless king of the Serengeti. Amid the surges of hot wind lifting from the earth, vast silhouettes move steadily across the savannah. Not hunters, but beings that inspire caution throughout the land through an unusual form of power. The ostrich appears as an emblem of speed, alertness, and understated authority. In a landscape where survival is determined by every measured movement, there exists a species that cannot fly, yet outruns its challengers with legs built like hammers. The ostrich requires no wings to rule the savannah. Every stride proclaims speed, stamina, and a confidence worthy of admiration. Before the grass has time to tremble with any hint of alarm, a watchful gaze has already stretched far beyond it. The largest eyes of any land animal belong to the ostrich, a living watchtower of the savannah. It perceives danger before all others, and endures through unwavering vigilance. The ostrich is celebrated for more than its speed. Few are aware that its eyes are larger than a lion's, granting it the ability to observe at distances many predators would not anticipate. Each rapid glance serves as a calculation of space, helping it discern the smallest movement across the savannah. Beneath its soft, shaggy feathers rests a body engineered for strength. The ostrich possesses just 2 toes, one larger than the other, a design that enhances thrust and grants superiority in motion. More striking still, its kick is forceful enough to deter predators, even those famed for their ferocity. Yet even the ostrich's remarkable sight can encounter movements that defy expectation. Along the distant fringe of the savannah, a low figure flattens itself against the earth. The cheetah emerges within range, quiet as a blade gliding through grass, awaiting the precise moment to draw nearer. The ostrich remains unaware of the quiet approach. It bends to feed on the softer grass, now and then raising its head to survey the distance, detecting nothing amiss. The stillness of the moment causes the savannah to pause for a heartbeat, exposing the brief gap a predator always seeks. The cheetah moves forward in brief, hushed steps, its body flattened against the earth until it almost merges with the grass. Its eyes are wide, fixed upon the target with unwavering precision. Each breath is held, every muscle coiled and prepared. The whole landscape appears to narrow into a moment counted in mere seconds before eruption. In a moment, drawn taut like a bowstring slipping free, the cheetah bursts from the grass, its acceleration so fierce that even the wind appears outpaced. The ostriches scatter in alarm, one unlucky bird half a beat too slow. The cheetah's accurate strike concludes the pursuit, gently ushering that life into another turn of the savanna's cycle. The passing of a single individual is no rarity in the ostrich's world. On the savanna, every creature matures among chases where fortune and fortitude coexist. The moment just witnessed is merely a thread in the natural cycle, where today's loss nourishes the vitality of tomorrow. After the momentary turmoil, the ostriches swiftly return to their accustomed rhythm. They depend not upon sheer force, but upon instinctive watchfulness. Their tall necks lift like aerials, sweeping across each current of wind, enabling the group to perceive the smallest stirrings of a predator. Ostriches are not solitary creatures. Within the flock, they communicate through deep, muted calls and brief adjustments of their stride. When one bird senses danger, the others respond instantly, often signaled by the slightest inclination of the head. This coordination enables them to travel in a loose but efficient formation, reducing the likelihood of any individual becoming isolated. Ostriches do not constantly sprint at maximum speed. They understand how to conserve energy, surge forward, or alter direction as circumstances demand. Gentle nudges at the flank can signal abrupt turns, confounding a predator's calculation. This adaptable running pattern is a vital element in their ability to withstand pursuit from agile hunters such as the cheetah. Though flightless, the ostrich's wings remain essential to its survival. While running, they extend their wings to steady themselves, lowering the chance of stumbling during sudden changes of direction. When issuing a warning, the wings swell outward, enlarging the bird's silhouette and prompting smaller or less experienced predators to pause before striking. Ostriches are able to endure arid terrain through a diverse diet of grasses, roots, seeds, and even small stones to assist digestion. Their bodies cope effectively with heat, retain water efficiently, and remain active at times when other species retreat into shade. It is this resilience that enables them to persist across the unforgiving savanna throughout the year. The savanna takes on a different hue as the breeding season returns, born on warm breezes and the smell of newly turned soil. Male ostriches move into the most significant period of their year. They fashion broad nests in the sand, digging deep with their strong legs, solemnly preparing for the task of nurturing the next generation. When the sand nest is ready, the female ostrich advances with measured composure. She shifts her stance, chooses a sheltered position, and gently lays her large ivory eggs upon the warm sand. Each egg rests like a pledge to the future, as the male remains close, keeping vigilant watch for danger along the fringe of the savannah. Once the eggs lie still within the nest, the male ostrich immediately assumes his duty as protector. He rises to full height, keen eyes scanning each tuft of grass like living aerials. Far off, other stealthy figures begin to appear along the perimeter. One moment of carelessness could see the entire clutch fall prey to those who bide their time. In the instant the wind changes direction, the male ostrich turns his head to check an unfamiliar sound behind him. That fleeting lapse is all the honey badger requires. It surges in like a swift, compact missile, grips an egg, and disappears into the grass at remarkable speed. When the ostrich looks back, nothing remains but disturbed footprints and an empty void within the nest. The honey badger swiftly consumes the egg it has taken, a valuable reserve of energy to fuel its ongoing battle for survival. The ostrich, despite the loss, quietly checks the nest before returning to its vigilant post. For them, such minor changes are simply the customary pulse of the savannah, where each species claims its portion by nature's design. Weeks go by, and the nest that was once unsettled gradually regains its calm rhythm. The ostrich carefully rotates the eggs, guarding them from sun and wind, maintaining steady warmth each day. Then, on a tranquil morning, soft sounds emerge from within the shells. The chicks start to break through the tough casing, beginning a bold new chapter upon the savannah. Freshly hatched ostrich chicks are required to adapt at once to the wide world before them. Their parents guide them from the nest, walking in brief stages across the whispering grass. Each fall is a lesson, each recovery a testament to resilience. They learn to move with the flock, respond to quiet signals, and read the pulse of the savannah. Ostrich chicks mature by watching and learning. They rehearse their runs behind their parents, quickening their pace at strange noises, halting when the grass moves out of pattern. Their earliest meals consist of tender sprouts, fresh blades of grass, and tiny insects. As days pass, alertness becomes instinct, equipping them for the demands of a testing world. Under the scorching sun of the savannah, the ostrich advances in long, commanding strides across parched, fractured earth. Without noise or spectacle, it bears the understated authority of an instinctive survivor. In this harsh landscape, speed and stamina form the surest defense, and the ostrich, steadfast upon its enduring path, stands as an emblem of the boundless vitality of the savannah. Lion, a story of growing up in the wild. Across the vast sweep of golden savanna, a band of young lions enters the most decisive chapter of their lives. Without the safeguarding presence of their mothers, every stride becomes a fresh challenge. Here, instinct, experience, and bravery merge to mold the future of these emerging hunters. They have recently departed the security of their known ground, bearing strength not yet refined and abilities still unpolished. Freedom carries danger with it, and this immense landscape shows favor to none. As they move into strange grasslands, they separate into small clusters, each only a few individuals relying upon one another to ease the sense of isolation within the boundless savannah. Despite their lack of experience, the young lions start to recognize the delicate cues of the savannah. The wind delivers scent, the earth records footprints, and the faintest stir within the grass reveals whether to move forward or withdraw. It is the opening chapter of a testing path towards adulthood. On a morning thick with the smell of damp soil, the group comes upon a herd of Cape buffalo traveling across the plains. They are formidable, cohesive, and vigilant. The challenge lies well beyond the young lion's capacity, yet eagerness and the desire to prove themselves tempt them into this rash attempt. They crouch low and move in from the favorable wind, intending to divide the herd. Yet the buffalo hold their formation with remarkable cohesion. Each advance by the lions is answered by vigilant stares. The leading buffalo immediately protect the vulnerable, rendering the plan difficult to execute. The young lions become scattered, and one more hesitant member climbs a tree to escape a confrontation with the formidable and hazardous herd. A forceful lunge from the leading buffalo compels the group to withdraw. That display of power reminds them that the savannah offers no favor to haste. The torn grass that remains bears witness to their first hard lesson. Certain prey require patience, ability, and true maturity. When they are safely distanced from the Cape buffalo, the young lions pause beneath the cover of long grass. Their breaths remain labored, their muscles weary from the turmoil, and they settle into silence. Not out of defeat, but from the realization that sudden force cannot substitute for patience and considered strategy. They lie still, tending to minor wounds, listening as the savannah gradually settles back into its natural cadence. In that stillness, their instincts grow keener, and the lesson for the next hunt takes shape. To overcome formidable prey, they must plan with greater care, act with sharper coordination, and mature in earnest. In the still heat of midday, the young lions observe a herd of zebras absorbed in grazing. The zebras stay vigilant by nature, their ears continually swiveling towards sounds both near and far, yet their formation is less compact than that of the buffalo. One animal edges into a vulnerable position, while others hold their heads down a fraction too long. Subtle gaps the lions may take advantage of. The group crouches low and melts into the golden grass. They observe each slight movement with patience, waiting for the instant the herd grows distracted. With every breath, their predatory instinct grows clearer. They know that silence and exact timing are as vital as speed. As a single zebra breaks from the formation, the group immediately begins their assault. The savannah appears to quiver beneath thundering hooves and the forceful hiss of wind. The zebra races with desperate resolve, yet the young lions alter their line of pursuit, gradually closing the space and forcing their quarry into a narrowing route. Through unrefined strength and emerging confidence, the group subdues their prey. It is their first genuine triumph, shaped by the defeat that came before. This instant signifies a pivotal step in their passage into adulthood. The feast commences with heightened alertness. They feed swiftly, taking advantage of every scrap before other predators catch the scent. On the savannah, triumph merely marks the start of a new contest, where time and scent are treacherous adversaries. Above, dark circles drift lower through the sky. Vultures have seen the scene from a distance and approach in silence. While they present no direct danger, their arrival signals that the area has been claimed, and more formidable challengers could appear at any time. From afar, a high, eerie laugh drifts upon the wind. Hyenas trace the widening scent across the savannah. They advance with assurance and tenacity, knowing the young lions lack the strength to command full control. With every step, the atmosphere tightens with rising strain. As vultures swoop lower and hyenas circle in anticipation, the sky appears to quieten before an unmistakable truth. On this occasion, they claim nothing, contrary to their earlier assured intentions. The savannah at times rewards those who move at the precise moment, rather than those who come afterwards. What is left of the prey slowly enriches the earth. A few weeks on, fresher, greener grass will rise in that very place, attracting grazing herds once again. From withering to rebirth, the savannah follows its unending cadence, through every season, every wind, every rainfall, maintaining a cycle of renewal that never truly ceases. The group's triumph, however small, contributes to sustaining that cycle. By influencing grazing herds and providing chances for scavengers, they inadvertently support the stability of the savannah. Even predators serve as vital links within the broader fabric of the ecosystem. Day by day, the group grows more aware of the workings of the savannah. They learn to steer clear of ground marked by more powerful adversaries. They read the wind, perfect the skill of remaining hidden at the crucial moment, and make use of the landscape. Such understanding is vital to their prospects ahead. As they travel across open land, each individual begins to grasp its responsibility. One keeps watch ahead, another reads the wind, while a third guards the flank. Such modest skills forge cohesion. The group no longer behaves in a disjointed manner as they did in their early days after leaving the pride. The savannah is in constant flux. Food may be plentiful at times and scarce at others. Opportunities can arise suddenly and disappear just as swiftly. The group must continue to hone their abilities to adapt. Every day presents a fresh trial, requiring them to grow not only stronger, but more discerning. Through hardship and failure, the cohesion of the group becomes evident. They depend upon one another more deeply, reading each other with growing ease. Their choices become increasingly aligned. The young lions are evolving from naive individuals into a coordinated body, guided by strategy and mutual trust. In the manner they move, watch, and decide, the outline of a future alliance becomes visible. Their gaze is fixed upon the same horizon, their strides keeping a common rhythm. The young lions are stepping into the crucial phase of emerging as a new power upon the savannah. Reflecting upon the path they have traveled, the group is no longer a cluster of directionless roamers. They have become tougher, more discerning, and capable of interpreting the savannah through instinct as well as experience. Their early setbacks now serve as a precious foundation for the journey yet to come. In time, when their strength has reached its height, when their manes are fuller and their bodies complete, this young group will stand as genuine rivals to the coalitions that rule the savannah. That day will arrive. Today, they are simply preparing in silence for what is to come. The savannah grants no advantage to the reckless. It belongs to those who learn from defeat, who remain united, and who heed the quiet pulse of the earth. The coming of age of this young band of lions is only at its beginning, and this land will continue to observe how they shape the chapters that lie ahead. Katavi, the grip of drought. Under Katavi's relentless sun, the waters that once offered refuge to the hippos contract with each passing day. The expansive lake slowly withdraws, revealing fissured mud and heat held low against the earth. Their former habitat is diminished to confined pools, where every movement is charged with strain and intensifying pressure. Hippos depend wholly on water to regulate their body temperature and shield their delicate skin from the intense sun. As the water level declines, the herd is compelled to gather within the final remaining hollows. The crowding is not by preference, but an unavoidable outcome of enduring drought, as the habitat that once sustained them grows progressively unforgiving. In the persistent heat of Katavi, the hippos' rhythm of life alters perceptibly. They linger in the water for longer periods, reduce their movement, and become more alert to any disruption nearby. The climate does more than diminish the lake. It steadily tightens the herd's patience, permitting tension to accumulate in silence with each passing day. Amid the severe conditions of Katavi, the hippos' everyday routine must decelerate. During the day, they immerse themselves in the last lingering pools to avoid the scorching heat. Each movement is restrained, as if energy has become a commodity, no less valuable than water in this season of drought. Among the herd, signs of alertness become increasingly pronounced. Every sound, movement, and look holds a deeper measure of wariness. As the water ceases to be ample enough for all, each individual's patience is tried with each passing day. For the hippos, life now is not simply survival, but the maintenance of a delicate order between heat and confinement. Such close congregation of crocodiles and hippos has scarcely been witnessed in Katavi. However, as the drought endures, established boundaries gradually fade. With insufficient water to divide territories, species that once avoided one another are now obliged to coexist within restricted space. Katavi becomes increasingly severe with each passing day, and the unusual settles into a new reality. For female hippos and their young, the circumstances grow particularly unforgiving. Hippos are unable to perspire to regulate their temperature, relying wholly on water and shade. As the water recedes, their sanctuary gradually vanishes. The calves, possessing far less resilience, confront the mounting threat of overheating with each passing hour under the severe sun. The calf edges tightly against its mother, seeking the scarce shade she can provide, though its strength steadily wanes under the intensifying heat. Deep growls resonate across the shrinking pool, a sign that strain has reached a critical point. Forcing crocodiles aside is never without danger. Yet to reduce the heat and safeguard her young, the mother hippo is compelled to risk it. Amid the spray of water and a chorus of rumbling growls, a great crocodile becomes ensnared within the crowded mass of hippos. Its sole means of escape is to glide between the vast bodies, shifting in uneasy disorder. A hippo's bite is strong enough to break a crocodile in two. Nevertheless, the reptile must accept the peril and attempt to pass through the encircling wall. Following the rush of intense movement, the water gradually grows calm once more. The young hippo withstands the disturbance and at last cools beside its mother. The strain temporarily recedes, replaced by measured, wary breaths. The crocodile likewise succeeds in withdrawing from the throng, climbing onto the bank and re-establishing a prudent distance. As the water becomes steadier, the hippo herd slowly resumes its customary routine. They linger quietly within the remaining pool, shifting their positions to escape the intense sun. The hurried motions have faded, replaced by prudence and restraint. Under the persistent heat, life carries on, more measured and wary than before. Upon the darkened bodies of the hippos, oxpeckers start to settle. With patience, they inspect and tend to the abrasions remaining from the disturbance. There is no spectacle, no dramatic interference, only silent healing unfolding. In this harsh world, it is sometimes the smallest bonds that enable life to steady itself and carry on. Hippos do not deliberately pursue confrontation. Their instinct favors defense and the preservation of familiar territory. In stable conditions, they devote much of their time to resting and upholding order within the herd. It is only when boundaries are breached or strain surpasses endurance that forceful responses arise, serving as a natural means of safeguarding themselves and their calves. The hippo's existence is upheld by collective discipline rather than solitary power. Every individual learns to keep the proper distance and to interpret cues expressed through sound and movement. This capacity for behavioral adjustment allows the herd to withstand severe conditions like drought. For the hippo, its essence does not rest in domination, but in sustaining equilibrium over time. Katavi has yet to permit a return to tranquility. The drought persists in constricting the available habitat, compelling species to reveal themselves more often and venture further from safety. As the water diminishes, watchfulness no longer centers solely upon the surface. Along the parched grasslands bordering the lake, a different pressure remains silently present. Within the arid expanse of Katavi, the presence of the creature known as king grows more distinct at the margins of the water. It neither hurries nor seeks display. Its simple emergence is sufficient to shift the atmosphere around it. When the apex presence steps into view, the natural order faces another trial. Though the rhythm of life begins to steady, the earlier marks upon the hippos' bodies have not entirely healed. Under Katavi's enduring heat, each movement serves as a reminder of their limits. Recuperation progresses gradually, demanding both time and quiet. In such a severe environment, sustaining sound condition becomes crucial to continued adaptation. Along the margin of Katavi's receding waters, a pride of lions advances quietly. They fan out, steadily narrowing the gap, shaping a careful ring around their focus. Unhurried and unobtrusive, every step is measured against the contours of the land and the drift of the wind. Such presence is sufficient to shift the rhythm of the entire scene. There is no rush to engage. The strain mounts through sound and measured distance. Roars ring out, responding to one another with pointed force. Each advance is accompanied by an unmistakable warning. The space feels tightly compressed between those facing one another. Even the slightest movement could transform the course of this encounter. Strained acknowledgments pass between them through fixed stares and low, reverberating calls. The hippos withdraw into the water, the domain they control with greatest authority. The lions press on, a few moving forward with deliberate caution. However, at the threshold between bank and water, the balance alters. On this occasion, the apex presence is forced to concede to the adept of the river. The hippo has no need for haste or spectacle to affirm its standing. Within the realm of turbid water and confined muddy shores, its power resides in assessing circumstance and selecting the appropriate ground. Beneath the surface, each motion is purposeful. The sovereign of the water persists through calm resolve and an acute awareness of its boundaries. The hippo's formidable bulk and measured stride often disguise its true character. Beneath that dense hide resides an intelligence refined by Katavi's unforgiving conditions. When the waters withdraw and balance is challenged, they do not succumb to panic. They adapt. Survival is preserved not by conflict, but by discerning decisions taken at precisely the right time. Cheetah, when speed shapes the order of the savannah. The savannah unfolds like a space without boundaries, where pale golden grass stretches beneath a vast sky and the light continually shifts with each passing gust of wind. With no dense cover for refuge, every movement is laid bare. It is precisely this openness that forms an environment requiring keen observation and absolute adaptability. Within what appears to be a simple landscape, the savannah becomes a domain shaped by speed and calculation. Low earthen mounds, faint trails across the grass, and open expanses create a distinctive living structure. This is not a land of clamor, but a place where each silent moment holds strategic significance. For the cheetah, the savannah is not merely a habitat, but a map committed to memory through sight and breath. Every element, from the direction of the wind and the angle of the sun to the height of the grass, contributes to shaping its way of being. In this open world, precision and the capacity to accelerate at precisely the right moment become the keys to maintaining its rhythm of life. The cheetah is considered the sovereign of speed in the natural world, holding the record as the fastest land animal across millions of years of evolution. It can reach speeds of approximately 120 kilometers per hour, but its greatest strength does not reside in that figure. What truly distinguishes it is its explosive acceleration in a fleeting moment, surpassing all familiar limits. From a stationary position, the cheetah can accelerate to 100 kilometers per hour within a few fleeting seconds, the result of only a handful of strides channeled with full force. Its light frame and optimized locomotor structure ensure that energy is not dispersed. Each movement is translated directly into acceleration, with no surplus and no hesitation. The cheetah's body appears crafted to cut through the wind across the open savanna. Its compact head, flattened ribcage, and long, slender legs work in precise harmony, reducing air resistance to a minimum. Every contour serves one singular aim, enabling this feline to master space through sheer speed. The savanna appears to slow for a fleeting instant as the cheetah lowers its body into the thin grass. Its breathing becomes measured and deeper, gaze fixed firmly on the movement ahead. In this open space, all elements are in place, and the pursuit is ready to be set in motion by the smallest of signals. Amid grass lightly stirred by the wind, a herd of impala becomes increasingly distinct, their slender forms moving in measured rhythm across the open terrain. They frequently raise their heads to survey their surroundings, ears turning in several directions to decipher the savanna's subtle signals. A sense of vigilance prevails, yet the rhythm of life endures, delicate yet disciplined. The cheetah's gaze moves steadily across the herd of impala, neither rushed nor uncertain. It looks for a movement out of sequence, a subtle gap within the advancing formation. In the wide expanse of the savanna, the decision is made with complete precision. Today's sustenance will not be determined by numbers, but by the most fitting moment. The space appears to draw taut as the cheetah surges from the grass, and the savanna sinks into a breathless hush. Explosive speed closes the distance in only a few fleeting strides. Every calculation focused into one decisive line of pursuit. When the motion subsides, equilibrium returns to the rhythm of life, and a well-earned meal signifies a fulfilled moment in the natural order. Following the flurry of swift movement, the impala herd slowly narrows its formation and returns to its accustomed rhythm. The frantic rush yields to measured caution, heads raised, ears attentive to the slightest sound. The savannah continues to shift, and their lives carry on, more wary than before, yet unbroken. In a separate expanse, the cheetah eases after its short surge of speed. Its body unwinds, breathing slowing steadily. No longer an arrow slicing through the wind, but a still figure amid the grassland. On the savannah, each moment forms part of an ongoing current, where every species maintains its proper place. Once the cheetah attains its maximum velocity, its body shifts into a state of optimal performance. The supple spine arches and extends like a living spring, coordinated with hips and shoulder blades that rotate with remarkable freedom. Consequently, each stride is lengthened to its fullest extent, enabling it to travel across the savannah in bounds far surpassing its own body length. At such speed, the cheetah's motion appears almost separated from the earth. Within each running cycle, there are fleeting instants when all four paws lift simultaneously from the grass, giving the sense that it is gliding low across the savannah. Contact with the ground is exceedingly brief, sufficient only to channel force before propelling into the next stride. The cheetah's tail acts as a biological rudder. It regulates the body's alignment, preserves balance, and steadies direction as the terrain ahead continually changes, enabling it to maintain exact control during each critical moment. Even the cheetah's paws carry the signature of an athlete designed for speed. The hard, flattened pads improve grip upon the ground, whilst the short claws, not entirely retractable, act as small anchors. They allow the cheetah to hold its course and retain greater control as it races at maximum velocity. On the savannah, speed does not equate to complete security. As the cheetah stops to regain its strength, other dangers become increasingly apparent. A leopard observes quietly from isolated groups of trees, making use of the calm and the shadows. A mere instant of inattention can disturb the delicate order. Further across the open grassland, the lion embodies the persistent pressure of shared territory. The power of the pride and its commanding presence oblige the cheetah to stay vigilant, selecting both moment and position with caution. On this land, no species lives apart. Each step must consider the eyes observing from afar. When the breeding season begins, the female cheetah withdraws from the open plains she knows so well, choosing thick scrub and tall grass in which to give birth. The process takes place in absolute quiet, for the newly born cubs are tiny and vulnerable to discovery. From the very first moment of arrival, concealment becomes essential for survival. However, even concealment cannot entirely eliminate danger. During relocation, or when the mother is compelled to depart in search of food, a lion may unexpectedly emerge, having caught the faintest trace of presence. Faced with such pressure, not every cub is fortunate enough to continue the journey. A few depart the cycle of life sooner than expected, part of the savanna's unyielding nature. Following the turbulence of their earliest days, the surviving cubs remain close to their mother, learning the discipline of silence and the art of adapting to their surroundings. Every relocation, every brief halt, becomes a lesson in survival well beyond their years. On the savanna, maturity is not measured in time, but in the capacity to withstand unrelenting pressure. When the cubs become capable of traveling further beside their mother, a subtle period of training commences. She does not instruct through overt action, but through unhurried steps, extended observation, and intentional pauses. In this world, the art of survival is conveyed through patience, rather than through verbal caution. The savanna slowly resumes its customary rhythm, with the wind gliding over the grass and the marks of speed dissolving beneath the sunlight. The cheetah leaves no proclamation, only a balance newly re-established. Within that vast openness, it endures as a pure expression of nature, swift, exact, and silently carrying on.